The rising retirement age is a response to changing structure of the population. People are living much longer. On average, we can expect to live perhaps 10 years more in retirement than people would have expected in 1950. In 1950, when the state pension that we have now was starting, men could expect to live about 12 years after their retirement age of 65, women a couple of years more. And nowadays we could expect to have another 22 years of life after 65. So being 65 in 1950 is similar to being 75 today, and people need to adjust to that reality of life going on for much longer after what they have historically regarded as the time to retire.
So what issues does this raise for employers?
Well, employers traditionally provided pension benefits, but that was mainly the larger employers, and this has become more stressful and more challenging in recent times. But the government is introducing an auto-enrolment requirement in the next few years, which means that all employers will have to auto-enroll their employees into a pension scheme. And pay at a minimum level of contribution towards people's pensions. And that means that every employer needs to get a grip on the auto-enrolment challenge. They need to find a provider for auto-enrolment which will help them to implement an efficient and well-organised solution to auto-enrolment, and will do things at a low cost and providing a good pension. So that's where people should be looking to organisations like Now Pensions to provide them with that auto-enrolment solution, which will take the burden off the employer of having to think about how to organise it, because it will be done efficiently for them in a way which will lead to a good outcome.
Tell me more, Chris, about what Now Pensions offers.
Now Pensions has a really unique offering in terms of auto-enrolment, because it is really focused on meeting the needs both of employers and of the individual members. It offers a really easy solution administratively for employers to get into auto-enrolment. It has low costs, and it has an investment scenario which is taking away some of the volatility which is inherent in many of the pension offerings, so as to give a good stable return to the individual member of the pension scheme over the long term.
Chris, what do you bring personally to the role as Trustee Director at Now Pensions?
Well, I come to the trustee role from a long history of working in government in pensions policy. I was the government actuary of the United Kingdom for more than 18 years and worked with several governments over those periods, and in my previous role at the department on pensions policy, social security, both in the UK and also many international clients as well.
Okay, so how does the UK compare globally in terms of pension provision?
I think the UK is regarded as one of the more sustainable systems in the world, but that is partly a consequence of the fact that our state pension is set at a relatively low level compared to many other countries. Within Europe, the most sustainable systems tend to be those in the north of Europe. Denmark is one of the most remarkable systems. The Netherlands, Sweden, Finland have shown that they have a robustness and stability, and that they should survive, and they're not going to face some of the same issues that other parts of Europe are facing. So it's interesting that the Danish solution is very much reflected in the Now Pensions offering, which has its background in the Danish pension system, where they have had the same system in place now more or less for 50 years and still going very well.